share their names in quiet rooms and borrowed days. You smiled and time forgot its place. Two souls that never meant to stay. We built a world in coffee cups and whispered dreams and sleepless nights. Love grew gentle, soft, unseen, like sunlight finding space between. I thought the world would let us be, but love can't live where pride can't see. We didn't lose because of our hearts. We lost to the walls that tore us apart. You held my hand, I held your pain, but love alone can't fight the rain. They said we were wrong, they said we were small, and I watched our forever fall. We didn't lose because we stopped believing. We lost to the world that stopped us from dreaming. Your home was gold, your voice was kind, but your mother's words still haunt my mind. Love can't fill a table's place. Our daughter needs a finer grace. I bow my head, I bit my tongue. For you I stayed until I was gone. Your tears became my lullaby, a quiet way to say goodbye. Each promise broke beneath the weight of love too pure for hands of hate. We didn't lose because of our hearts. We lost to the walls that tore us apart. You held my hand, I held your pain, but love alone can't fight the rain. They said we were wrong, they said we were small, and I watched our forever fall. We didn't lose because we stopped believing. We lost to the world that stopped us from dreaming. At the bus stop, rain began to cry. You said I love you, but I can't try. I felt your heartbeat fade from mine, a quiet death of borrowed time. I let you go, though every bone still screamed that love should have brought us home. We didn't lose because of our hearts. We lost to the walls that tore us apart. You walked away, I stood in the rain. Our dreams washed down the gutter drain. If love could choose, it would still be you, but the world decides what love can't do. We didn't lose because our hearts were fake. We lost to the walls we could never break. Now I sit where the raindrops fall. Your name still echoes through it all. Love was real and that's enough, even if the world called it too rough. You stood beneath the cafe light, Rain in your hair, eyes soft as night. My song was cracked, the chords were thin, but somehow you heard the soul within. You brought me coffee, stayed a while, and turned my sorrow into a smile. Between your world of white and mine of dust, we built a dream we tried to trust. You said someday you'll sing on bigger stages. I said you're my reason through these empty pages. Two hearts, two dreams, two different skies. One reaching stars, one chasing cries. We didn't lose because we stopped believing. We lost because our roads kept leaving. You walked toward light, I walked toward rain. Love stayed behind, but love remains. Two roads, two fates, one truth we knew. Freedom and forever can both be true. Wore your stethoscope and grace, I wore my guitar in empty case. Your parents saw the dirt on me, not the love that you could see. You fought for us, but walls don't fall when pride builds higher than hearts can call. Your tears said more than your words could mend. Sometimes love can't reach the end. You whispered, I still love you, but I can't stay. And I let silence be the only thing I'd say. Two hearts, two dreams, two different skies. One reaching stars, one chasing cries. We didn't lose because we stopped believing. We lost because our roads kept leaving. You walked toward light, I walked toward rain. Love stayed behind, but love remains. Two roads, two fates, one truth we knew. Freedom and forever can both be true. Turned where our story died. You turned away and I never tried. Your shadow faded down the street. My heart kept time, your steps still beat. Two hearts, two dreams, two endless skies. Love still lives where goodbye lies. We didn't lose because we stopped caring. We lost to the past we weren't sharing. Now I sing beneath the same old light. Your memory glowing in the night. Two roads, two fates, still one refrain. Had we loved too true to meet again. In every song, your name's disguised. Two roads diverged, but both were mine. Sunlight, I was rain. Two hearts from different decades. You laughed, I learned to breathe again. In your eyes, my past was washed away. You called me old, I called you wild. You said my calm could tame your fire. I never knew until your smile that love could wake the tide. But Time's a thief with quiet hands. It steals the years we never planned. We didn't lose because we stopped believing. We lost because the world kept speaking. You had skies still left to chase. I had lines the years couldn't erase. If love was pure, then ours was true. But I had to give your youth back to you. We didn't fall because we stopped trying. We fell because love kept dying in silence. You tease the songs I used to play. I smiled and let the chords remain. Your laughter turned my gray to gold. A fleeting warmth I couldn't hold. They whispered doubts, the walls grew tall. Too much noise for hearts so small. And in the cafe where we first met, our last goodbye was quietly said. You said you're not stealing anything, but love can't stop the reckoning. We didn't lose because we stopped believing. We lost because the world kept speaking. You had skies still left to chase. I had lines the years couldn't erase. If love was pure, then ours was true. But I had to give your youth back to you. We didn't fall because we stopped trying. We fell because love kept dying in silence. Turned to leave, the chair cried out. The sound still echoes through my doubt. I watched you walk into the gray, carrying love I couldn't make you stay. And I sat still, my hands grown cold, trading forever for your soul. We didn't lose because we stopped believing. We lost because time kept weaving. You had years I couldn't borrow. I had love too deep for tomorrow. If I could choose again, I'd still choose pain. To love you once, then let you reign. We didn't lose for lack of feeling. We lost because love became healing. Now I sit where the years pass through, still hearing the rain that once was you. We didn't lose because we stopped loving. We lost because age turned love into truth. The rain, days repeating soft refrain. Umbrellas bloom, the city blurred, and silence was the only word. Across the street through silver haze, you sat and turned my quiet days the window in the rain, where I saw your face again. The window in the rain, love unspoken, soft, unnamed. Your coffee steam, your pages turn, my lonely heart, it slowly learned. A glance, a smile, the world stood still. Two souls apart, yet bound by will. The storms don't wait, they fade away, and you were gone one heavy day. The window in the rain still holds your ghost in pain. The window in the rain reflects what can't remain. A note was left where you once stayed. The ink was soft, the words still stayed. I don't wait for the rain to stop. Be your own sunlight, the window in the rain now shines through all the pain. The window in the rain, where I learned to live again. Still cries, but I don't hide. I walk through storms with open eyes. The window fades, the light survives. Tired lights and empty skies, he walks the road where silence lies. The city sleeps, the stars stand still. His footsteps echo soft and chill. And there she was, a flicker's glow, a flower girl the night would know. Her smile a candle in the rain, a fragile warmth that eased his pain. He'd buy one bloom, sometimes none at all, but her voice became his curtain call. And every night he'd walk that road quiet hearts and shadows float. Her corner shone beneath the light, a single lamp against the night. He never said the words he meant, just smiles and coins, his soul's lament. And when the dawn erased the sky, you'd still hear her lullaby. They spoke of dreams in silver rain, of passing crowds and fleeting pain. She tied her ribbon slow and neat, while hope bloomed softly at her feet. He told her one day you'll be free. She laughed and promised you'll find me. But faded moves in unseen ways, and love can't bargain with the days. One night, her corner stood alone, just wilted blooms and cobblestone. And every night he walks that road where lonely winds remember souls. He found her flowers on the ground, no laughter left, no tender sound. He whispered prayers the sky could keep for the girl the city let fall asleep. Now every step a vow reborn to bring her light before the dawn. He asked the streets, the stars, the rain, where she had gone. They spoke her name, a car return, a cruel night blind, and she was lost between the lines. He placed her blooms beneath the glow and felt her warmth in winter snow. Now every night he walks that road where grief and grace together grow. He leaves one flower by her side, so her corner's never swallowed by the night. The lamp still flickers, her laughter stays in whispered winds and city haze. But he brings her flowers every night, so a corner of the world still holds the light. Forgets the streets move on, but love keeps burning when life is gone. A single bloom, a gentle sign. The night remembers and so does he. Same old park, same fading day. Your laughter echoes far away. We sit in silence, side by side, with miles between our hearts inside. I want to speak, but words won't start. They tremble somewhere in my heart. The distance on the bench between what's gone and what's left. The distance on the bench where silence took our breath. The distance on the bench. Love's ghost that never rests. turned gray. Our promises began to fade. Your tears fell soft, I turned to stone. Afraid to reach, afraid alone. One gentle word could break the wall, but pride still built it after all. The distance on the bench, between what's gone and what's left. The distance on the bench still haunts the space we kept. The distance on the bench, our hearts that never met. You left so quiet, the air stood still. Your shadow stays, it always will. Feel that I still leave space for you, even though you no longer sit beside me. The distance on the bench still hums beneath the rain. The distance on the bench still whispers your name. The distance on the bench, love carved into the grain. Leaves still fall where your hand was near, and I still wait year after year. Was dry, the candle low. Her trembling hands refused to let go. A name she'd written 1,000 times, now sealed in silence, dressed in rhyme. The rain pressed soft against the glass, a whisper goes to what had passed. She breathed his name, then looked away, told herself she'd be okay. She stepped outside, the world asleep. The wind began its promise to keep. The letter flew into the night, carried off by borrowed light. Words she wrote but never sent now belong to where the river went. Some goodbyes don't need to be read, they live in tears the sky has shed. And silence spoke where love had been. My heart was the letter in the wind. The city hummed, the streetlights swayed. A shadow followed where dreams decayed. She chased the letter down the stone, each step a prayer, each breath a groan. It danced away, defied her hand, a fragile truth she couldn't command. And when it fell into the stream, a sorrow drifted with the dream, the riverside. The world stood still. The night forgave her heart's free will. The letter flew into the night, carried off by borrowed light. Words she wrote but never sent now belong to where the river went. Some goodbyes don't need to be read, they live in tears the sky has shed. And silence spoke where love had been. Her heart was the letter in the wind. She stood alone beneath the rain, felt release instead of pain. The wind had taken what was due and left her nothing but the truth. The letter flew into the night, fading soft beyond her sight. Her words dissolved, her soul unchained. The past forgiven, those scars remain. Some love is lost yet never sent. She learned that silence too can be a form of goodbye. Her heart, the letter in the wind. Smile beneath the city gleam now flickers like a broken dream. Every picture, every frame still whispers softly, calls your name. The photos on the screen where love was what it seemed. The photos on the screen now on my waking dream. The photos on the screen show we used to be. Small slip, one fatal sound, and every memory hit the ground. Your world erased, my fingers shake, only my face left in its wake. The photos on the screen where love was what it seemed. The photos on the screen now haunt my waking dream. The photos on the screen still burn inside of me. I tried to save what time had killed, but ghosts can't live on pixels still. still in the frame. A quiet breath, a soul reclaimed. The photos on the screen now fade like what has been. The photos on the screen no longer hold the pain. The photos on the screen are gone, and I remain. Renewed, the screen turns black, the sky turns blue. The past is gone, but I'm still true. They met beneath an awning's light, two strangers lost in silver night. He shared his half, she laughed aloud. The thunder wrapped them like a shroud. From that first storm their hearts entwined, in every drop their souls combined. The rain became their secret place, a fleeting world they could embrace. But love, like weather, starts to fade. Even skies with promise shade. It was the last rain together, two hearts breaking under weather. She said the clouds will clear someday, and I must learn to walk away. He whispered love should be enough, but rain fell harder on their trust. Now every storm recalls her face, a ghost of warmth he can't replace. They stood beneath that trembling grave, afraid of words they couldn't say. Her eyes were tight, his voice was thin, as thunder rolled beneath their skin. He reached for her, the wind replied. The storm between them couldn't hide. Her final words, soft, almost drowned, were heavier than rain on ground. It was the last rain together, two hearts breaking under weather. She said the clouds will clear someday, and I must learn to walk away. He whispered love should be enough, but rain fell harder on their trust. Now every storm recalls her face, a ghost of warmth he can't replace. She left the umbrella in the street, a fragile tomb where love and sorrow meet. He watched her fade through sheets of gray, and felt the light inside decay. Years later, storms still call her name. He stands alone beside the pain, That faded cloth, that rusted frame, still hums the echo of her flame. He never used it once again, a shrine to loss, a song to rain. Boy, he kept the umbrella not for the rain, but for the memory that still fell within. The rain returns, the city sleeps, and every drop her promise keeps. Love began where storms collide, and ended there on the other side. Shadows caught against the will. The plates were cold, the words were gone, and love was something we leaned upon. You looked away, I held my breath. The sunset whispered slow goodbyes to us. Instead, the last sunset in the room painted love before the gloom. The last sunset in the room, where silence became our tune. The last sunset in the room, faded far too soon. Your heart was flame, but both too tired to take the blame. You tried to speak, but every sound just fell apart before it found. You said, we're not the same as I tried to care, I just couldn't pretend. The last sunset in the room painted love before the gloom. The last sunset in the room, where silence became our tune. The last sunset in the room still burns in shades of you. Case closed, the hallway sighed. The evening held the tears we cried. Love didn't leave with him, it just faded with the light. The last sunset in the room still hums beneath the moon. The last sunset in the room, where our hearts became the wound. The last sunset in the room, The walls turn gray, but I still feel your warmth in yesterday.